Hey everyone, welcome back to Weekly Ecommerce Marketing Intel with Khoon, the podcast where I break down the e-commerce platform changes that actually matter for marketers, founders, and growth teams. Before we start, if you want to stay updated every week on what's changing across e-commerce, marketplaces, paid media, and AI-driven marketing, make sure to like, share, and follow this podcast so you don't miss the next episode. Each week, I'll help you cut through the noise and focus on what matters most, what changed, why it matters, and what you should do next. In this episode, we are covering the week of March 22 to March 29, 2026. And this week, the signal is very clear. The biggest platforms are racing to shorten the path from discovery to purchase. Meta is pushing harder into in-app commerce with AI-generated product summaries and one-tap checkout. Google is quietly opening new paid visibility inside AI-powered search experiences. And Lazada created both commercial opportunity and operational risk in the same week. So if you work in e-commerce marketing, performance media, marketplaces, or growth strategy, this is a week worth paying attention to. Let's get into it. If I had to summarize this week in one sentence, it would be this. Commerce journeys are becoming shorter, more AI assisted, and more platform control. That matters because the old funnel, ad click, landing page, browsing, and then maybe a purchase later, is getting compressed. The platforms want fewer clicks, they want less friction, and they want more of the buying journey to happen inside their own ecosystem. Meta is doing that through AI-powered product summaries and embedded checkout. Google is doing it by testing new monetizable placements inside AI mode. And in Southeast Asia, Lazada reminded sellers that high sales periods can create both upside and operational vulnerability at the same time. For marketers, I think this means three things. First, product feed quality is no longer just an operational detail. It is increasingly a growth lever. Second, conversion design matters more than raw traffic volume. If platforms make it easier to buy natively than your website does, then your own experience needs a more intentional role. And third, teams need to connect media, product data, and operations much more closely because performance is no longer just about campaign setup. Now let's go into the top 3 updates you should know this week. The biggest update this week came from Meta. At Shop Talk 2026, Meta announced it is testing AI-generated product information pop-ups for Facebook and Instagram ads. When users click an ad, they may see a product summary that includes things like user reviews, brand details, recommended products, and available discounts. At the same time, Meta is also rolling out a buy now one-tap checkout experience directly inside ads, working with payment partners like Stripe and PayPal. This is a very important shift because what Meta is really trying to do here is eliminate one of the biggest drop-off points in e-commerce, that moment between the ad click and the final purchase. For years, marketers have focused heavily on improving creative, targeting, landing pages, and checkout flows. But if Meta can reduce friction directly inside the platform, it changes the economics of direct response campaigns. The practical takeaway is straightforward. If you are running product-led campaigns on Meta, your catalog quality, product titles, descriptions, reviews, pricing logic, and payment readiness are becoming even more important. This is not just a media story, it is also a product data story. My recommendation is to prepare early. Clean up your product feeds, improve your product descriptions, make sure pricing and promotions are accurate. And if Stripe or PayPal are central to your setup, make sure your business is ready to move quickly if you get access to these experiences. Because in most platform shifts, the early winners are usually the brands that were already operationally prepared. The second major update is from Google, and is especially important if your business depends on product discovery through search. A new sponsored stores ad unit has reportedly been spotted inside Google AI mode. The format appears when users engage with e-commerce product searches, and it gives retailers another paid visibility opportunity inside AI-generated search experiences. This matters because it confirms something many marketers have been anticipating. AI-powered search surfaces are becoming monetizable commercial inventory. That has major implications. As Google shifts more product discovery into AI-driven experiences, brands can't assume the old playbook will be enough. Traditional SEO visibility may not carry the same weight if the user gets guided by AI-generated responses before ever engaging with standard results. That means new paid placements like sponsored stores could become increasingly important for maintaining visibility. My advice here is simple. Treat Merchant Center optimization as a strategic priority, not back-end admin work. Audit your product feed quality. Check product titles, attributes, pricing, availability, shipping details, and promotional accuracy. Because if AI mode becomes a more important shopping surface, product data quality will likely determine who gets visibility and who doesn't. And more broadly, this is another reminder that the future of e-commerce discoverability will sit somewhere between SEO, paid media, and AI readiness. That is where marketers need to be thinking now. The third big update is also from Meta, but this one is especially relevant for brands with large catalogs, hero SKUs, promotional pushes, or retail media activity. Meta confirmed that it is testing product set optimization, which allows advertisers to focus on specific groups of SKUs rather than relying only on broad catalog level campaign logic. According to early beta reporting, one partner saw up to a 40% improvement in ROAS compared to business as usual campaigns. If that level of impact holds, this is a serious development. Why? Because one of the biggest challenges in e-commerce advertising is balancing scale with control. Broad catalog campaigns can drive efficiency, but they can also make it harder to deliberately support the products that matter most to the business, whether that's high-margin items, seasonal heroes, promotional bundles, or overstocked inventory. Product set optimization is interesting because it gives advertisers more precision without forcing everything into manual campaign structures. And for e-commerce marketers, the upside is bigger than just better media performance. It also means better commercial alignment. You can connect ad spend more directly to merchandising priorities, product strategy, and inventory needs. That's where performance marketing becomes much more powerful, not just as a traffic driver, but as a real business lever. So if you manage a large catalog or work with product level planning, this is one of the updates worth taking seriously right away. Because the broader direction is clear. Platforms are moving toward more product level control, more product level reporting, and more commerce accountability. And that is good news for marketers who want to connect media performance to business outcomes more clearly. So what should you actually do with all of this? Here are my practical takeaways from this week. First, clean up your product data now, not later. Not when the platform officially rolls everything out. Now. Because whether it's Meta's AI summaries, Google's AI commerce placements, or future feed-based eligibility systems, structured product data is becoming the foundation of visibility and conversion. Second, rethink your conversion path. If platforms are making native commerce easier, faster, and smoother than your website experience, then your site needs a more intentional role in the funnel. Maybe it becomes the place for education. Maybe it becomes the place for brand building. Maybe it becomes more important for CRM, retention, and higher consideration buying journeys. But either way, that role should now be designed, not assumed. Third, bring media, merchandising, and operations closer together. Because the best e-commerce performance now comes from connecting campaigns to inventory priorities, payment readiness, promotions, and product strategy, not from optimizing ads in isolation. And finally, for sellers operating across marketplaces, remember that high traffic sales moments can also create back-end risk. So while campaign planning matters, operational resilience matters too. So that's your weekly e-commerce marketing intel with Khoon for the week of March 22nd to March 29, 2026. If there's one big takeaway from this week, it's this. The future of e-commerce marketing belongs to teams that can connect media, data, product, and operations into one system. That's where performance is heading, and that's where the advantage will be. If you found this episode useful, make sure to like, share, and follow the podcast so you stay updated every week. And if you want more practical resources to help you work smarter in e-commerce, AI, and performance marketing, visit khoonlab.com for free tools and resources. Thanks for listening. I'm Khoon, and I'll see you in the next episode.